One of the things people forget about is just custom web Dynpros or custom Dynpros instead of web Dynpros. Some of the tools that we can use are really cool, and instead of going field to field through looking for things to change, you can always group them. And you've got four different groups, and you can use them to display, make them mandatory, or make them invisible. So that's really cool. And then you've got, I did a table control. So you have a table control example with the name here for the table control. Also, we've got all these fields that are in the table control. There are times when you don't want to display the fields, so it makes the code a little more interesting. So I'm going to go back, and this is a place where we can modify SAP because it's within the sales contract, and they really didn't do a good job of keeping the same things for user exits and modifications. So if you look at the code, here I have, I'm going to go up a bit. There we go. Here I have, if there's nothing in the table, make it invisible. If I go down a little bit, this is where I'm deciding, and I could get rid of some of the screen groups. This is deciding when I want to make something invisible, input or output only. And down here is the fun part. It is looking at, based upon T code, which I know is bad, it's looking at what fields inside the table control to display. Now, what's really weird about it is you can't use the field name. You have to use the field location. So in my table, I will look at the sixth column, and based upon that column, I'm going to make it invisible. 6 and 7, actually. And the same thing goes down through all of this loop at the screen. And actually, this one's loop at table control. So let's see it in action a little bit. Okay, so here's a contract. And it's made with the material Michelle, with the sold to Michelle. I'm doing great here. So where this code lies is in the document header, additional data B, and you look, it's already looking to see what it should display and what it shouldn't. And one of the things is it's looping through it. I'm going to go down a little bit. Oh, okay, it's not down that far. Oh, we're already in it. It's deciding which column should display and which shouldn't. So you're going to look at it and you're going to notice that before I had a lot of columns, now I only have 3. And the reason why I did that is because the other columns have no data in them. And I want the other columns because when there is data, I want to display them. This over here is one of the things that will display or not display depending on what transaction you're in. So let's go quick, create a contract. And that's not what I want. I want a contract. Oh, whoops. I might want to go to the right transaction. So here's a contract. I'm going to use my handy dandy Michelle. And my target quantity of 500, valid from, valid to, and enter. And everything's beautiful except for my pricing, which I don't really care about. But if you go look at the additional data B, It's going to go through all its looping again. And look, this has disappeared. So this is some cool ways of setting up your screen so that when somebody looks at it, they're not overloaded. I mean, they know really, really quickly what they have to fill out here. They're not looking at the table control going, what the heck's that? Nothing's in it. Or over here and saying, oh, all right, well, I've got 0, 0. Does that mean something? It takes the guesswork out of it for them. And so it makes them a happier person. So this is my quick overview of different things you can do with a table control and getting rid of columns and making the user happier by making a nice screen.